Is that based on like the number of people voting or the number of points bet?
I thought it was points, but I don't actually know. Production can answer that years later.
Oh, it's points.
It's definitely points. Yeah, so one person heard me complain.
One whale.
Shout-outs to whoever that is. I need a Sandwich?
Sandwich tried to whale out for use, and we'll see if it pays off. But
oh, it's going to pay off.
We got game number 1 in the winners final. Winner of this goes into the grand finals, Use versus Kyna.
Here we go. Kyna fighting up against Use. And Brawlhalla's been where we've been at in South America for most of this top 6. Use now fighting back with the spear, but Kyna doing so well in the Asuri today. He's got those guitars, the claws coming through, and he's trying to take Use's first stock down as he's got that damage lead. Nice dodge out. Is that the recovery? He dodges it.
Who kind of still manages to get back to the wall safely. The recovery starting to come out from Use, but it's a recovery from Kyna to take the first stock.
Yeah, really well played by Kyna so far. Use trying to find his footing with the spear. Axe could be coming out pretty quickly here if he's careful. There it is. Now, if Kyna lets Use land, the neutral light could stop Kyna from getting a side light, but okay.
He is getting damage with his guitars.
I may have baited Sandwich. Sandwich, if you hear this. No, wait, it's still a best of 5, Duke. I can't be giving up on Use.
It's not over yet.
I can't be giving up on Use just yet. There's the neutral light that I was looking for. Weapon throw afterwards. Catches Kyna going for recovery pretty early on. Bounces him off the stage with that stare. He's sweating. Pogo hits him off the bottom of the stage, and that's a KO coming out from Use as that stock was looking rough until he finally was able to get center stage and use the Axe neutral light. Just like how I talked about how Axe is pretty good against Lance, while I do think guitars just don't really get hard countered by anything, if you are a player that likes to open up your opponents with side light, Axe neutral light's there to stop them in their tracks. But kind of went to the ground against the D-light. That would have been so good.
Use trying to turn it around, trying to get some damage built up onto Kyna. Going to pick up the spear. Seen a lot of people try to use spear against guitars, but it hasn't worked that great so far.
Ooh, dodges in the ground pound. Kyna's kind of schmooving with the guitars, dude. I'm like, what the heck? Look at this, like the double dare. He's doing these like dash jump pivot nairs, and then he's like sliding off the side of the stage to get the recovery. Look at this. Chain dodges down, tries to get anything else with it, tosses the old guitars in for some new ones, and he's really trying to catch Use's landings. Can he get the damage? And D-Light dares the other way. Cider connects, and Use puts out that D-Light himself. D-Light's recovery, not enough to take the stock, but it's something.
Over to the Axe. Ensig whiffs and kind of goes in. Optimal for force, but it's not going to be enough to KO. Use with the N-Light doesn't even put Kyna off screen.
Oh, he's on center stage here. Oh, and Kyna, he like slid across the stage after that dash, got into the right position, went, hold on a second, shimmied backwards, and then D-Light recovery. That was how confident he was that Use was not going to punish him in that position. We might have time to see that in this replay. I want you guys just to, like you guys as viewers, pay attention to the movement from Kyna's footsies here. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. He really just slid around waiting for that landing there for that D-Light recovery. Hey, that's harder to hit than it looks, especially in pro play. I should know. I've been trying to play Thatch recently. I haven't hit a single D-Light recovery in my life.
Well, that seems problematic. But not a problem for Kyna, clearly, as he is up 1-0. And he's been getting so much extension off of his guitars compared to what we've seen from like a lot of the guitar players this weekend.
Yeah.
Like he's getting 5, 6, 7 extended hits.
And I'm a little surprised that we're here for game number 2. This is the kind of stage with how Kyna's been moving that I feel like is going to be really advantageous to his guitars. But let's see what Use got to play here, because the platforms do benefit Spear in the sense that they're perfect downlight height. And because they're so far over the side of the stage anyways, you're that much closer to the blast zone if you get caught hanging out on them.
Use really picking and choosing how he lands back down onto the stage. Oh, but Kyna getting these hits in. Use gets a sidelight, but not much else.
D-Light in air, weapon throw down, picks up the sword. New weapon could be coming in pretty soon for Kyna. Let's see what he goes for. Dash jumps forward, but Use just blocks him out with those neutralites. Maybe he could go for a third, but the dash jump stopped by the side air from Kyna. But those neutralites from Use are really neutralizing Kyna's approaches.
Yeah, just kind of putting out this poke in front of him. Ouch. Keeping a hitbox there. Kyna not able to finish the stock. Use with the haymaker. Recovery doesn't hit.
Yeah, I like the attempt there with the spiking hitbox, but kind of dodges right through it. Let's see what he gets.
Both of them creeping into the red.
Oh, and Kyna still on the sword. Goes up for the recovery. Use goes for his own recovery. I haven't seen the... there's a possibility to go for like a dash jump. Nice job with the recovery there from Kyna. But like, if you are dealing with a guitar player with Axe, you can do like dash jump, ground pound to try to read an approach from them, but Yus hasn't gone for that too much. He's been opting for the recovery, both for edge guards and on stage instead, and now he's trying to get the stock knocked up the left side of the stage here with the spear.
Side air is not enough, but the recovery is.
Nice.
Yus has his pick of weapons, but likely, oh, okay, he's going to stick with the axe this time. I thought he was going to go with the spear.
If he's going up with that matchup against the Katars, I can see why he might want to start with the axe, but let's see how it plays out here. Kyna with the sword, D-Light side air, gets the dare, falls back to the stage, sidelights through, tries to get a jump read with the Sarah, neither of them hit, but he doesn't get punished for it. Finally, Yus gets a little bit of damage himself, and the game is still pretty close.
Dancing around a little bit, Kyna goes in, still getting these hits on top of Yus, and Yus is just struggling to find any sort of response.
Nice side air. Goes in for the recovery, the spiking hitbox of the Nair, and Yus gets side aired into the stage. Weapon tossed out of his hands, and no chance to make it back as Kyna solidly takes the lead now.
He's just piecing up Yus at every portion. There's the weapon spot on the left side. Yus gets past, picks up the spear, and Kyna is just like, all right, let me find a spot to hit you again.
Yus goes for the D-Light, Kyna ducks underneath him. Ground pound from Yus hits, and that sider was really well timed, just not spaced well enough to be able to hit Kyna on that edge guard. The neutral light comes through and Kyna jumps way out of the way of that side signature to get some more damage on the Yus' last stock.
Jumping there, more nairs. Oh, the recovery beats out the ground pound.
He went for another. Yo, that was so sick, going for the recovery. No fear on the ground pound. Hits the second recovery and try to continue the combo onto the platform with the dare. Yus jumps out of the way, but now both players are in orange, but Kyna's up a stock in the gravity cancel pivot. Neutral light into recovery. Double recovery. Kyna just deletes that stock in an instant. And 2 stocks Yus going into game 2.
He's so good at changing up the pacing against Yus, right? Like, he goes immediately for the double recovery, and then not even 30 seconds later, he goes for one recovery, waits a little bit, goes for the second recovery. He's keeping Yus on his toes, never can get a feel for how the rhythm of this fight's going to be.
I love that combo, starting off there with the gravity cancel, pivot, neutral light, and the recovery towards the top of the stage. And we can just see in the graph there with the damage over time that Yus kept it very close, and then the second that he gave Kyna an inch, the stocks just flew, and that ends up being a 2-stock into a 2-0 lead for Kyna in this winner's final match. And we're going back to Brawlhalla here for game number 3.
That graph was so interesting in that, like, you could see these chunks of time where Kyna is not getting hit. Just these flat lines where Kyna is like, all right, time for me to just hurt you.
Ooh. And while the platforms did give Yus a little bit more room to play with, I don't really think they changed how Kyna's gameplay played out. In fact, I think it just gave him more cool combos to do with the Katars in general. So let's see how this plays out here. Kyna loves doing those pivot nairs on the Katars. Recovery comes through, chase dodges up, tries to catch him, and Yus stops with the nair, but Yus low on jumps. He's got to be careful.
Touched, but it's not enough.
But the force was so much to that ground pound that surprisingly takes Yus down, and now it's 3 stocks to 2.
Yeah, and Kyna, again, very healthy right now. He's just keeping this pressure on, denying this weapon for as long as he can, but Yus picks up the axe, but we saw earlier, Yus just struggled to find any hits with this axe against Kyna.
Ooh, and Yus falling off to the right side of the stage, trying to get something started with the axe, but Kyna staying so airborne that he can't get it. New recovery comes through, immediately Nair, stops the landing with the weapon throw, picks it right back up, dodges through, down air, neutral light, waits with the Nair, doesn't punish that down air. But the ground pound does get dodged out of the way and Kyna continues to tack on more damage. That side air would have been so good for Yus, and he gets the second one. Kyna using the Katar dare for some momentum. Gravity cancel, neutral light, knowing that Kyna was out of jumps, takes him down and gets the KO to even it up 2-2.
Just denying that wall touch, putting out longer active hitbox, and Yus is able to clean up that stock. But again, he's sticking with this axe against Kyna. It's good in that, like, if you're trading blow for blow, he's getting more damage out, but you got to get the hits on the Kyna.
D-Light side air. Edge guard opportunity. Kyna gets the gravity cancel side lane, the recovery.
Odd
into
option.
The wall.
And it works.
Kyna is so good at a Suri. That was insane.
That wasn't even a Suri specific. That's just
but it was like a sword thing into a Katar thing, which you can only do on a Suri.
Okay, yeah, there you go. That's
I guess you have to add in a neutral sig or a down sig, but I'm still very impressed by that because that side light worked in a similar fashion that the Axe neutral light edgeguard from Use did, but it was more of a setup than a finisher. And he was able to get that recovery for the damage and then pick up the guitars to get the knockout as well. And he's continuing to tack on the damage, but he falls on that side stick, and this could be an edgeguard for Use. Recovery cuts through whatever Use was trying. And that nair and another nair. No, okay, Use avoids that, but still more and more damage attacking on Duke. This is looking like it's going to be another 2-stock.
Yeah, Kyna's just looking solid. He's approaching so well against Use. Gravity cancel and light. Can't get much, but there's the downlight recovery. Kyna with a clean 3-0 over Use.
All right, I still stand by that the viewer vote at the beginning was a little aggressive.
It was a 3-0, man.
It was a 3-0, yeah. I mean, was it a 94% 3-0? Shout out to Sandwick. Thanks for your points. I actually bet on Kyna. So,
oh, yeah.
There we go.
You're really just fleecing our production staff in the background there.
Kyna really looking like the favorite for this tournament at this point.
Yeah.
That was incredible. And there were so many creative options coming out from both the guitars and the sword. And I'm talking about using the weapons in a way where it wasn't like, okay, here's my sword strings for 80 or 180 damage and then my guitar finisher or vice versa. It was cross combos with the weapons, right? Like he would start off with one, use a weapon throw, really put his opponent off guard, and then switch over to the other weapon to finish up the stock. And it was really fun to watch the entire way through.
Well, I'm sure it was very analytical of you to state that, but I'm sure someone could also do some analysis. Let's throw it over to Remy.
Well, today we've got Kyna and Use coming at us with some excellent guitar gameplay, and I do want to take a second here to point out how Kyna is going for these heavy reads here, and it seems like some old school stuff, some back in the day wrenched gameplay, hard commitment stuff. A lot of the punishes are going just to the maximum here. We're seeing multiple hits go really just as far as possible, and I'm going to show you guys this clip here where it's like the very first one already is just getting the most damage possible, right? We see the very quick extra jump up to catch that dodge, get the dare down, and then it's just free reign on him. Gets the extra read, though. That's the thing. As soon as the situation stops, he restarts it. He goes for another read. He goes for the maximum damage he can get again with the downlight into the side air. Also sends him in a good angle to set up the edge guard here for himself. And he doesn't actually complete the edge guard. He does let the opponent get back to the stage, but it's all about that damage. Look at the extra credit he earned on that stock there because of that situation. The reads don't just stop there, though. He does use the maps to his advantage as well. As you can see here, the quick little 1-2. And I want to take a second to slow this down for all of your guys' eyes because I saw, but maybe you didn't, that little chase dodge. I mean, that little ledge pivot on the platform there to get that little slide extra dash, and then he jumps up and gets that extra recovery, just making the space and room needed. He's looking like a true North American prodigy there, but he is South American, so we're going to give him the credit where it's due in his own region. Really love the guitars coming out today. They look really clean. It's been a while since we saw some good Asuri gameplay, so all of it is just very much welcome here. Another beautiful read here. This time he goes for the ground pound, doesn't connect, but that's the thing about Kyna as well. He goes for these reads, and it's actually usually pretty safe. It's usually in a position where you're not going to be able to get that quick punish off. Use goes for it, and it actually turns back onto him as he's the one getting punished now. He's the one taking these extra hits, and this time the ground pound does connect on point, and it's not looking too hot here. This was another really clean play I like. The downlights there, pretty common for a sword player, but what's uncommon is that follow-up, that kind of read we saw earlier from our EU games where I mentioned, oh, Godly knows what direction you're going and he's going to follow you off stage. He knows your crossover. The same thing here with Use. He knows that this left dodge is coming. He reads it, and it's very, very well placed. Goes into that recovery, and, well, Tazo was lying to you guys saying this could only be done on Asuri, but, I mean, anyone can sidelight recovery on sword, right? It is the downlight recovery that he was talking about that adds on that extra oomph, that Asuri only special unless you're playing Switchcraft, which you guys should check out more often. That game looks funny. Again, here we have a little bit of interaction with the guitars there. You see the and this is what I'm talking about when I go, the situations kind of end up with a follow-up that's unpunishable, right? You see the end light come through. The down air is there to read the dodge in, but Use isn't in a position to do anything off the whiff. There's no hope for him there. He actually dodges back towards the map, and a downlight recovery is still going to catch him. Excellent play from Kyna. Excellent spatial awareness. Good knowledge of what his opponent has available to them. And, yeah, Casper's going to show you what's up next.
Kyna's looking so incredible today, and I got to eat my words a little bit. I was saying, like, all of the people who were ex-Bodvars were having this, like, character identity crisis, but Kyna looks comfortable. He's sitting pretty in the grand finals now and looks like a true blue Surrey main.
Yeah. And now we're going to our next match.